Good evening, everybody. All right. A winter evening. Fed the deer. No snow on the ground. So, as we can see, and again, I stress the word see. We've got a fry pan bottom setting up. We're breaking out to the upside in wave 3 with gap ups. Bigger. And there is all this talk out there that we've got to get ready for a big pullback. And the more they keep talking about a big pullback, the higher this market is going to go. So as we can see in the Dow, things are staying strong. The NASDAQ, just a nice steady eddy, picking up a little bit of steam right now. And the transportation index is right here at this breakout level. And I stress the term breakout because we're going to kind of concentrate on that over the next week or two. But if we start seeing things where they're right at levels that everybody else can see could be a resistance level, that's where you're going to make some big money. Real quick on the commodity or futures side, we were buying the U.S. dollar today. You can see where it's broken this downward channel. Expect at least for it to come back up and test the 50s. So we know it should be moving in that direction. Those that were in the lean hog trade, we got in as it broke out right here, right at 68 bucks. And we closed out on Friday as it came back down through this level for two reasons. Because it was starting to show a little bit of weakness, number one. And number two, we're getting pretty close to where they're going to start calling in the February contracts. We should be moving out. So that $1,300 of margin required for a contract of lean hogs, I think picked up $6,200 worth of profit for us. So that was a good trade. And we're right now watching, April live cattle. Somebody pointed out you can see kind of the head and shoulders. You can see the failure here. More than likely, we're heading back down to the 200-day moving average. And as we can see, crude oil, absolutely nothing. You can see gold kind of waffling in here, but waffling in a positive direction. So if it starts moving back up, this kind of J-hook pattern uptrend is usually very, I want to say solid, because you can see it's not whipping up, coming up, profit taking, coming up, profit taking. Jamie, we don't know. It could be, look what it did over here. So I wouldn't be too surprised trajectory like this as soon as the T line kind of keeps up with everything. Okay, so with that, because we can evaluate the indexes or the ETFs, we can see that the biotechs are picking up some strength. And again, this is kind of on the basis of, you can see where the trend channel is. They break through it. Pretty much had this wedge formation. Now it's broken out to the upside. So that doesn't necessarily mean you might want to trade, oh, that's right, I forgot corn. Trade the ETF, but it tells you to start looking at a lot of the biotechs. March corn, as you can see, did the bobble breakout. We had our buy stop today at 37.50. So it's hovering right in that area. But the expectation would be if you did a bobble breakout coming out of this fry pan bottom, you could get another pretty strong run. At least we're heading in the right direction. And we know what our stop is. We probably don't want to see it close back below the T line. Okay, we recommended, again, we're going to kind of be orienting ourselves toward the breakouts, because if we can see which direction the market is moving, which obviously we got a nice steady uptrend and starting to pick up steam, then that pretty much means we want to be looking for things that are going to give us high profit situations. Now, obviously there's going to be a lot of stocks that have good steady uptrends. Our DVMT, nice steady uptrend. Nice steady uptrend. But we want to make hay while the sun's shining. Pat, yeah, that's probably true. I just kind of use the numbers that are on the screen. So it's $3.75 per bushel. So we want to find the things that have much greater potential. They could pop real quick. So where was our trend or our resistance level? Right in here. Slow curve, breakout. So what should be the expected conclusion here? Another wave to the upside, about the same magnitude as this over here. Kind of the same scenario we did the other day, where we closed out HBM, but we bought it back when it broke out above this resistance level. Somewhat what we're looking for right now in CENX, it opens positive and breaks out. Got a wave 1, wave 2 J-hook pattern going into wave 3. So we're not going to be finding something in this case where it was a nice steady uptrend. Hopefully we found something that while the markets are heading up, we're hitting the ones that are moving up extremely strong. So if we can combine the information we know that's built into a pattern, and we know the market's not rolling over and changing investor sentiment, this gives us better prospects of being in a big price move, let alone a steady Eddie type price move. We're still in box. This is a wave, kind of a wave 2 going into wave 3. PA is another one that has been a steady Eddie ever since our J-hook pattern. Just continue to hold as long as it stays above the T line. And the biggies, we'll get the biggies out of the way. Amazon has come right back up here to the resistance level. That thing drives me. So if this breaks this little trend channel area, you want to be buying, because now you have a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Now, if you're not trading Amazon, you still use Amazon as a indicator that as long as they're buying the biggies like Amazon, here's Tesla coming out of the J-hook pattern. I would suspect it's going to stay in this steady Eddie. But these biggies, as long as they're staying positive, that means confidence is back in the market, and it will stay there until they're until we see the sell signals. Oh, I don't know whether you would call this exuberant buying just yet, because you do have a J-hook pattern. And if this is wave 1, wave 3 could still be substantially to the upside. Remember, exuberant buying is when you see something steady like this, then all of a sudden it shoots up. In this case, it didn't shoot up. It did our J-hook pattern and then doing the next pattern move. Netflix, this is a much slower uptrending channel. Not as good a chart as the other ones. And NVIDIA, we closed that one out the other day because it was starting to get a little bit soggy. Then with a bearish engulfing signal confirmed today, I would suspect they're still coming back down toward the 50-day moving average. Okay, we got a few more that have been acting well that we just have sitting in the portfolio. Here is KE or KMT, nice steady eddy ever since our kicker signal. Another little kicker signal. Just stay long on this as long as it stays above the T line. And David L. pointed out TWI today. You can see the J-hook pattern setting up. So anytime we can see a J-hook pattern that is getting very close to a breakout level, you've got much better prospects that if they break out through this level. Here is SANM. Positive open would break us out, telling us we've got another move like this. So we can pretty much calculate what our next price moves will be based upon what wave one was. So where am I? TGH, that was another one that we recommended today because of the J-hook pattern. It waffled around a little bit, but we're still looking to be a buyer of this, especially if we see strength coming up into that the breakout area. And that's kind of the recommend why we did the recommendation on the J-hook pattern of Kiwi. Notice what moved Kiwi, that doji sandwich breakout, telling us we're still in a strong uptrend. TRTN. Notice a left-right combo. There's your, a lot of people say, well, isn't this a shooting star? It is if it had been over here. If this opens positive the next day, you definitely want to be a buyer of this because that just told us it was profit taking. If they open up positive the next day, the profit taking's over. The golds have been just kind of sluggish. But as you can see, coming out of the scoop pattern, you still only have one criteria, and that's that you stay long until you see a sell signal and a close back below the T line. So gold rand had the J-hook pattern. Now it's back up above the 200, backed off to the 200. If this opens positive, it's telling us the 200 is acting as support. Take a look at a couple others. AU staying up above the T line. AG, another one that if it opens positive tomorrow is probably going to the 200. Okay, got a few here that look good. ZIOP needs to open positive. If it opens positive, you got a J-hook pattern starting up. And we are going to be doing more in depth on the breakouts. As you can see how there was a breakout right here. Coming right down through that area. When they broke it out, that put us into this next move. Now remember what happened Friday? They announced they were coming out with new stock. Knocked it down a little bit. But remember, new stock doesn't necessarily mean it's bad for the company. That means they're growing fast enough. Let's see. No, what do we have tomorrow? Stop losses. We're going to do a special member session tomorrow night at stop losses. And we do breakouts on Thursday. On ZIOP, they don't concern me in the sense that I probably wouldn't be in this one right now. But if they open up positive again, changing the trajectory, no, again, it tells me I want to be right back out of that trade. Tells me they aren't breaking it out. IPI. So if we can analyze very easily that there's kind of a trend channel right down through here, and we've got the little morning star signal, close above the T-line. Now we're at this resistance level. If it opens positive, we can be buying pretty quick because that tells us wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Okay, CLF, right? Yes, just stay logged in, Gordon. What did I just do? IPI, COF, U.S. Steel. Notice how it broke this downtrending channel and did a doji sandwich today at this resistance level. Tells me we're probably in wave 3. STLD. So anytime I can recognize there's a resistance level, well. Whenever there's an obvious resistance level and they break through, that tells you there's a new dynamic that has come into the stock. AKS, right, just the bottoming action. This is probably the weak sister of all of them, but has the potential of popping back up to the 50. And GNK, there's your J-hook pattern again. So observe the obvious. The obvious is there's your support level, and there's your resistance level. So moving from here to here is still a good 30% upside, and you can pretty much calculate where you have to start watching for potential sell signals. We recommended INFN the other day because we could see what was happening. That fry pan bottom, when it gapped up, I had people saying, should we be buying it on this big a move to the upside? And the answer is, what do we expect coming out of a fry pan bottom? A big price move. So this is to alleviate that fear that even though it's up 25, 30%, that's a pattern breakout. There's probably going to be more upside. As we can see in this one where they broke it out, morning star type signal. Notice what it did, up, consolidation, and then the next day, today, they took it up further. So what did they do here? Up, consolidation. If they open up positive tomorrow, you can still be buying this one with the anticipation. It's got a kind of a big fry pan bottom with your dimple. They could be bringing it all the way back up into somewhere in this range. I think there's a gap to fill right in here. So you still have a good 25, 30% upside. Okay, what else we got here? Oh. Well, how about that? How can I miss? I was the one that wrote that down. All right, so the other type of patterns that we're looking at, and here's kind of this resistance level with a little scoop type pattern. And remember, our scoop pattern is very easy to identify. Flat handle, scoop, then your slingshot effect to the upside. And that was a major reason for buying. No. Which one? Oh, is it OCUL? There's your handle. There's your scoop. And so we were pointing this one out over the weekend in our emotions training session. Are the special sessions this week at the same time? Yes, we usually start at 8 Eastern time. So ocular, you can see the handle, you can see the scoop, You can see the island reversal. You can see the dojis and the gap ups. And what do we expect coming out of a scoop pattern? That strong slingshot effect to the upside. So that's why that one was recommended. CSIQ, Canadian Solar, flat handle, scoop pattern. That should have a slingshot effect to the upside. Nucor was another one. Flat handle. Notice how they broke this one out with kind of a trend kicker. That would tell me wave 1, wave 3 is probably going to be about the same. Can COF still be bought? Probably, yes. Because I would suspect the next move is going to be the same magnitude, and we're only right about here in that potential move. And AUPH, another one that's right here at a breakout area. You can draw your trend lines right down through here, so it's kind of broken out through that. Another one that has the capabilities of moving pretty strong, probably bringing you back up to this level anyways, giving you a good percentage move. So again, we're still looking for all the patterns, like the J-hook patterns, to start coming out pretty strong. And there's our breakout. So if you can see kind of a trend channel right down through here, and they've broken it out. This is ATEN. This is SREB. Again, a breakout. Bullish engulfing. Did a doji today. So what happens tomorrow? If it opens positive, your doji sandwich should take you up pretty strong. Again, you've got a new dynamic once these break out of these channels. Anytime you see that breakout, let's make this a little bit smaller. And something has happened. So again, this is to kind of alleviate the fear of, oh man, I don't want to buy a stock that's up 25%. You do if it's going to move up another 200%. Oh, Twillo is another one that is sitting right on the resistance level. So if it opens positive, got a fry pan bottom breakout potential. Oh, CLF weekly. Well, that's kind of a daily looking like that on a weekly. Yeah, kind of breakout through the 200, at least coming back up here. So you got a little bit more up to the $15, $16 area. And what else we got? MPEL. MPEL, same scenario. Draw a trend line right down through there. Pretty much draw a trend right up through here. So you got a wedge, and it's broken out to the upside. The prospects, well, the probabilities are pretty strong. You're now hitting much higher. And got to see the congestion area, but also you can identify that there's a resistance level right here. We've got kind of done a doji sandwich. So if it opens positive today, look for another move like this. Wow. I had a whole bunch of charts that we went through. We went through them that quickly. So this is where you can kind of get yourself mentally set up for your next trade based upon you got buy signals. You're at a resistance level. One of two things are going to happen. If they open up positive, they're breaking through. That means there's going to be a lot of strength in it. If it opens lower, you don't pay attention to it. They couldn't get through that downtrending resistance level. And things that we know that are broken out, and a positive open after a doji tells us we've got another doji sandwich setup, breakout. This makes it that much more compelling to be buying. So this is why we went after things like INFN on positive trading today, because this came out of a fry pan bottom. And what do we expect coming out of a fry pan bottom? We expect that that continuation of that big breakout. Okay, I must have gone through, I must be talking fast tonight or something. I figured it would take me almost a full hour to get through all of these. I don't know why this one's not coming up. TDCC. TDCC. Ah, I've been drinking heavier than I normally do. I did that. Yes, you're getting smarter. That's right. Oh, TEL. TEL was MPET. Yes. So here's your analysis. This is coming up. They sold it off hard on Friday and brought it back up above the T-line. So if the bulls were in control, which way should they have opened it today? Positive and taken it back up. The fact that the bears took it down and the bulls brought it back up, and then the bears opened it lower again and started taking it down, that's the wrong way. Close it out. That's not what you should see after that big potential reversal. Oh, INFN, I would probably use the low of today as my stop. But even though I shouldn't make assumptions, I would assume that it's going to open higher and trade higher based upon this whole pattern breakout setup. I'm speaking with conviction and clarity. That's right. Hog driver, yeah, we could do a commodity trading, but unfortunately in commodity trading, it's so simple. There's only about 30 charts that we could really look at, and they aren't going to look any different than these charts. Whoop. So here's what we are looking at. That chart could be any stock chart, but that's the live cattle chart. And what do we see? Kind of a head and shoulders, but a very J-hook pattern. If you didn't short it today, you can short this on weakness and then just watch to see what it does here. So we can do we'll do a commodity session soon. There's a difference between commodities and stocks as far as how you purchase them. And that's you're buying contracts. So when you buy a contract, you're buying or selling right at this price. And if the margin for live cattle is $1,900, that means you need to have $1,900 in the account to cover one contract. If you're buying 4 contracts, that's 4 times $1,900. So anyways, yeah, I will order a hog driver. We would do a session. Okay. Jim, go ahead and do the double line. And do the next double line, since most of the questions are up above the double line. So I'll start up here with CBay. CBay, nothing wildly exciting. If you're long, you stay long, but you can see there's really no major trend here. But the fact that they gapped it up told you there was a good, strong start to get this uptrend started. And ELGX, this is kind of one that we would have pointed out. I think we did point out in the emotions training that if it was trading flat, which way was it telling us our trajectory is going? It could either go up, down, or sideways. So if we didn't close it out on Thursday or Friday, definitely closed it out today, because now what's that tell us about our trajectory? It was flat, stochastic's rolling over. Is this a bullish looking chart? Obviously not. So you close it out. What's the next prospect for this? More than likely, they're going to come back and see if it will support at the 50. And then at that point, you see whether it's time to or look for a buy signal. ACIA, it's starting up, but you can see there's this this trend channel, so I wouldn't buy it unless it got back up through the 50 on a confirmed buy signal, which was today. And STM, another one that I would have been out of with it coming out or coming down through the T line. Let's make this bigger. But as you can see, as soon as it opened on Friday, they brought it back up. Now they're sitting right on the T line. You can be a buyer of this one on positive trading on tomorrow, but also be ready to close it out if it comes back down below the T line. That one's getting ready to reverse. ELG, EGLT. You can be buying this one. Now this one's the type, you can see what happened right at the same level over here. Big belt hold type signal. So if you're buying this one on positive trading tomorrow, very simply use the T line as your stop. MTNB. Uh-oh. That one's not coming up. All right, one more, please. Yep, that might be a lot. CRNT, just stay long. Notice how it's kind of broken out through this congestion area, so all you can really do is stay long on this one. Let's make the chart smaller. Yep, just stay long as it stays above the T line. That was CRNT. EMKR. Another one that's not very exciting. You can see the congestion area. You can see they supported on the 50 on that long-legged doji day. You can still be buying this one on positive trading on a breakout. But you'd want to see a breakout. If it opened lower and traded lower, you'd still be caught in this sideways slow uptrend. Again, each candle is going to tell you the magnitude of force of the next move. So here's your little gap up. I would watch to see if it can get up to the 50, which is still a good 10% upside. Mobley. Nice J-hook breakout. You can buy this one on positive trading. Yuri. You can buy this one. I'm pretty sure the volume on this one is pretty hefty. You can buy this one on positive trading tomorrow. You can see the bullish engulfing bouncing off the 50, bullish confirmation. Kind of broke this little downtrend. So you be a buyer, just use the T line as your stop. And VRX got through the 50. Backed off a little bit. So what you have to watch for now is if they open it lower, they're going to come back and see if the 50 is now going to act as support. FLDM, still nothing there. When it failed up here, notice what it's not been able to do. It's not been able to close above the T line since then. And Rockwell, not a very exciting one percentage-wise. I guess it's all right. You just stay long as it stays above the T line. One of your institutional traders, so it's not going to move around very fast. Crown Castle, another one that I wouldn't be buying because it doesn't have enough magnitude of movement. It's just not a very good-looking chart. I'd be someplace else. LNC, that one I'd be more apt to go after. Your banking, financial stocks are all breaking out of this resistance level, so you can be buying these. H-band, same scenario, except I'd probably give this a little bit more time to pick up some steam. It's moving in the right direction. You can be buying it. Just make sure it can break through the 1450 area. Yeah, tell you you should be out of that one today. We did CBay. We did Uri. We did back to the pattern analysis. Should do X. If not, and close it out. I would be more apt to think that with that big gap up breakout that you're going to be at least in a 45 degree. So I wouldn't want to see it close back below this level. If it did, that's not the direction you want it to be, that we should be expecting it to move. HNI, nothing here. If you're short, you stay short. That's just not a good chart. And TRV, that's kind of your belt hold. Now remember what a belt hold does. It sops up a lot of your sellers. So it sopped up a lot of sellers. You can be buying this one. Obviously, you want to watch to see if and when, or what it does if and when it gets to that level. But I would suspect wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, you just be a little bit more diligent when it gets to that level. Ocular, is it still in the buy zone? I would say yes. I would suspect this one is going to go up into the $12 area. Did we do STM? Yes, you can buy this one, but it has to open positive tomorrow. CLS, J-hook pattern in the making. If you're buying this one on positive trading tomorrow, don't let it close more than halfway down this candle, which would probably be the equivalent to where the T-line is tomorrow. Electronic Arts. Look for the Doji Sandwich breakout. It needs to open positive also tomorrow. OTEX. Open text. You can see there's kind of this little downtrending channel. You can see that you had a bullish engulfing, closed above the T-line. Doji, notice where the Doji back to the T-line. So if it opens positive tomorrow, you can be buying immediately. Same scenario on this one. It needs to open positive. If it opens lower, it's going to move in the direction how they open it after a doji, which means in this case, it failed at the 50. Let's see, we did CRNT, EMKR. Yeah, they need to break out to the upside. AMAT. AMAT, all you can do with this one is stay long as it stays above the T-line. Big lots. That's not an exciting looking chart. The fact that they did a big bearish engulfing, notice what happened when they broke up through the 50. They've come back down and tested the 50. If it, Yeah, I just don't. That's just not an exciting looking chart. I'm trying to figure out something positive to say about it, and there's not a whole lot to say. KeyBank, another one that if it breaks out to the upside, you can be buying it with all the other banks. And SYMC, there's that belt hold. When that belt hold shows up, they wiped out. Notice that they came up, there was buyers and sellers trading flat, and bam, they wiped out all the sellers. That starts your next move to the upside. ARWR, nothing there. See if I can find anything to... Yeah, that's not a good looking chart. It needed to be heading up, breaking out. It could have the possibility of coming back down and testing the 50 before bouncing back up. I would be someplace else. And CSTM, you can buy this one on positive trading your J-hook pattern. And IPXL, nothing greatly exciting except for a little scoop type pattern. And notice what it did. Came up through the 50, came back down, showed it did support off the 50. Now it'd be a buyer above today's high, which was 14.12. I'd put a buy stop at 14.15. That came up through there. The next wave is in progress. PTLA, just stay long. Wouldn't necessarily be a buyer here, but I would, if I was long, I'd stay long. We did Crown. We do LNC. Yes, that's one you can be buying on positive trading. Breakout tomorrow. We did CLS, eBay, Baba. Baba also having a hard time getting up through that resistance level. If it opened lower tomorrow and I owned it, I'd close it out. I'd be more apt to be a buyer at 105, knowing that it completed its J-hook pattern. I think we did a lot of those. AMD. AMD has to open positive. If it opens lower, it's consolidating. And CUDA, nothing. You can see that one sideways, and it's come back below the T line. It had the potential of moving up, but if it doesn't do something big tomorrow, I'd close it out. You're still stuck sideways. CLD, nothing there. That's sideways. I'd rather pay $6.15 knowing it broke out to the upside. Let's see. Did we do Rockwell? Just stay long. EK, J-hook pattern. You can buy this one on positive trading tomorrow using the T-line as your stop. General Dynamics. That's a good-looking chart. Obviously, you're playing with a big price stock, so it would be more of an option trade, but that's a good-looking slow curve fry pan bottom. And that's a nice J-hook pattern on ResMed. Stay long on this one. Let's see, did I do HIMX? You can be buying this one. Watch to see if what it does when it gets to the 50. ASNA, stay long, but it has to open positive. If it opens lower, it's coming back to test the T-line, which doesn't mean it's stopped this uptrend. It's just implying that the uptrend is going to be relatively slow. And DDD, another doji sandwich right here at the breakout level. I'd be a buyer of this one on positive trading. Doji sandwich telling me that there's more upside. MRNS. you can be buying this one. Just make sure your volume's hefty on a dollar stock. David, right here. It's nothing. There's nothing scientific about wave 1, 2, 3. It's just counting the waves. 1, 2, 3. This pulls back and then starts back up. Now this becomes wave 1, wave 2, going into wave 3. So the one thing we learned from Elliott Wave was that there are waves in the market. Now he wasn't. He kind of indicated there was nothing real sophisticated because he had dozens of wave counts, and there wasn't anything that was real specific. Kind of measured move idea. Yeah, so it's yeah, just a consolidation, and it'll take you all of 2 or 3 minutes to learn it. What did I just do? Something that didn't do anything of any great activity. Mobley. Mobley you can buy in positive trading, J-hook pattern. Freeport. Freeport, nothing there. That's not a pretty chart at all. I'd be someplace else. J-nug, backing and filling a little bit, but it's still above the T-line. And you have a doji, so I'll make it very simple. If it opens, gold's open lower tomorrow, you want to close them out. Would you short big if it opened lower tomorrow? Probably not, only because there's not a real trend reversal. You're just kind of top of a congestion area. So even if it opened lower tomorrow, your percent move down to the next support level isn't all that great. I'd rather find something like this where if it started trading lower, it had a lot of area to move to. Micron, that one I'd be more apt to short on the basis that they could probably bring it back down to this level, which would be the 50-day moving average. You did OCUL, that's your scoop pattern. I'd still wouldn't be afraid to be buying on positive trading tomorrow with the idea you're going to get a slingshot effect to the upside. NAC, just stay long. Is Friday a piercing pattern on JNUG? No, because it's not at the oversold area. It's a piercing signal had it been occurring down here. Remember, a signal is not a signal unless it's occurring at the right conditions of a trend. So all that is an up day and a pullback, not necessarily your piercing signal. Just because it looks like a piercing signal, it's not doing it in the right position of the trend. Bidu, stay long. Boeing, stay long. Wouldn't buy it here, but you can see it's a nice steady eddy. I would just stay long on this one. And ANET, another one that I would just stay long. It's going to try to get back up into this trend trajectory. Wouldn't be anything I'd chase after, but if I owned it, I would just stay long. AIM, yeah, this is a good example that once you're below the T-line, more than likely, bearish things are going to happen. At this point, if I was short, I'd be ready to cover the short position on positive trading because that would tell me that this area right here is the same as this area right here. That's where they're going to start buying again. DANC. There's that big breakout. Look for a 45 degree to come off of here. The DK. All right, well, you'd have to play that, consider the earnings. And then GVS, oh boy, yeah, so you have to watch to see how they open. Now you can't short this one, but there was your hanging man in the overbought condition, and it opened lower the next day. That told you it was time to close out the position. Oh, there's, okay, good. Yep, there's the Elliott wave. And even, oh, what was the guy's name that did Elliott wave? I know it wasn't Elliott. STNG, you can get ready to buy this one. Just watch to see what it does at the 50. 20-year notes, kind of going sideways. I wouldn't be trading the notes long or short right now. And GameStop, just stay long. You can see where it broke out right here at the 50. But now you have to be, with a little dark or bearish engulfing, suspicious of the fact that they probably will bring it back down to the 50 to see if that's going to act as support. And JDST, just on the subject of JGST. Ooh. Nothing here. If you're short, you stay short until they can get a buy signal and a close above the T line. CVRR, I would suspect, yeah, nothing's ever happened. If you're short, you stay short until you see a buy signal and a close above the T line. Echo, nothing here. Wouldn't be long or short. That's, yeah, there's just nothing on this chart. If you'd been short, it would have covered the short. I just wouldn't be going long yet. Yeah, whatever has happened to Prechter? Is he still in business? Prechter was always very bearish on the market. FNSR. You just stay long, but now that you're in the overbought area, if you were long on this one, you put your stop at right below the open. Oh, I met Bob Prechter. There was a group, an investment brokerage firm that had kind of a investment, I don't know what you call it, where they had a lot of their clients come to a resort up in North Georgia. And so I think I lived in Houston at the time, so I flew in to Atlanta, drove up, and so they had everything just as tight on the schedule that if you spoke for 45 minutes, that you had 1 minute from the time the person in front of you got finished to get set up and do yours, and then when you were done, you had 1 minute to get off. So I was stuck in between Bob Prechter and Ralph Acapora, and thought that was back in my younger days, and I was just thrilled to be associated with names like that. And got up there, got everything set up, had 10 seconds left to go, and because of the dry weather or something up there, my nose just started bleeding like crazy. So obviously we couldn't stop, so I had a big wad of tissues stuck on my nose while I'm trying to talk and breathe and show charts. So I'm pretty sure that impressed Bob a great deal. was I doing? FNSR. Yeah, put your stop right there. But Bob Prechter was always kind of a big bear of the market. But then again, in my earlier days when I was a stockbroker, that gravelly voiced Joseph Granville said, "Oh, this market's going to crash." Every time it went up to 1,000, well, that was the Dow. Every time the Dow went up to 1,000, he'd say, "Oh, we're going to crash back to 500." And sure enough, it would sell off back to 750 and then start back up. Let's see, AMAT, we did. We just stayed long. Goldman, look for a breakout. You can see kind of the little scoop type pattern here. If this opens positive, we could be in the next wave. And if we're in the next wave with these big financials, that means the market's going to continue up for quite a while. Caterpillar, not a very exciting stock to trade, but you can see where the resistance level is, and it's trying to get there with some gap ups. So I would rather buy it at 170 cents, knowing that it broke out to the upside. King of the broken clocks, yeah. That's right. It was great to have a big wad of people in the audience had given me big wads of tissue, and so I'm holding it on my nose. I'm trying to see the charts and then trying to breathe as I'm talking. It was probably a very impressive presentation. Let's see. And Moss, just stay long. Probably wouldn't be a buyer of this one in this steady eddy, but if I was long, I'd stay long. Yeah, if Caterpillar came up through the breakout level, which got to put a right up here, right in here. I'd rather pay for it right up above that level, knowing that it broke out to the upside. INFI, there was your breakout. There's your 45 degree. Notice what it did when it came up through the 50 or the 200, came right back to the 200 to see if it was going to act as support, did a Morningstar signal. You just stay long on this one. Looks like, yeah, kind of a big fry pan bottom with your dimple right here. So I'd stay long. You're in the gap area. So next target could be up here to fill the gap up at this range. And OHI, nothing to get real excited about here either. Hot, range bound. I'd pay more attention to it once it got up above the 200. All right. Guess that's about it. So with that, everybody, tomorrow night we will work on stop losses. Wednesday night we do our session on taking profits, keeping our emotions out of our profit-taking methods. And then Thursday night I'll start on some breakouts on how to use them effectively. Same time, yes, everything's usually at 8 o'clock in the evening, Eastern time. All right, everybody, have a good evening. We will see you bright and early in the chat rooms tomorrow. All in the